Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis coming to you from the Drew Estate Studios. With me today is John McTavish. How you doing, John?
Normally I just say I'm good, but I went to bed last night on time because, I work like the corporate keyboard junkie that I am, and I get up really early in the morning. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to go to bed at a reasonable time on Sunday. And my body did not fulfill its biological promise to go to sleep. And you know what? That's really frustrating because I would have rather just smoked cigars or played video games instead of just laying in bed, not sleeping.
There you go.
Anyways, that's how I'm doing. It is beautiful outside though, so
It
there's
is.
a positive spin.
So today we are talking about the Macanudo Inspirado Green Robusto. Cigar is 5-inch by 52. Cigar comes out of the General Cigar Dominicana factory in the Dominican Republic. Wrapper is Brazilian Arapiraca. Binder's from Indonesia, and the filler is from Colombia and the Dominican Republic. Price point is $6.89, and the cigar was released in June of 2020. So with all that out of the way, John, what was your overall experience like with this cigar?
Well, there's some fancy tobaccos in there, but I'm not sure they necessarily add up to a particularly engaging experience. Overall, it was not, I mean, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't particularly engaging, at least for the first and second, third, fairly flat. There's some notes there, like baking spices. There's a little bit of wood, some light leather, but it just didn't really come together, and I wasn't engaged at all. And then I found through the last third, which I rated subpar, it just had this char characteristic, and it started out sort of mild. It wasn't that bad, but really by the time, because we, here at Developing Palates, we actually smoke the entire cigar. So halfway through the last third, it just is unpleasant. The one thing I will say is, a lot of cigars that come out of General Cigar, construction was excellent, burn was excellent. So that was great, but my flavor experience, not so much. How about you?
Yeah, for me, the cigar started with a mix of dark wood and heavy black pepper. Some dry earth joined a bit later, and then a bit of cocoa powder. Second third saw the cocoa and the black pepper depart. Final third saw some char join in, as well as some bitterness. As you said, I'm just kind of going off of what you said. Construction was really good. Strength was slightly above medium the whole way. Cigar had a fairly heavy profile, which is not typical for Macanudo, right? That's not kind of where they play. So kind of a bit different than what you're used to. Enjoyment level was pretty average. Dropped down a bit in the final third as that char built in. Same for both of us, look like. And I just don't really see myself coming back to it. But for those that like maybe a heavier profile, might be up their alley. If you stayed away from Macanudo because you think they're too light, maybe this is what gets you into Macanudo. That darker profile. So, I could see it still being successful for them. It's got a really low price point. So it's not hard to try it out and see what you think. And then if you like that, then maybe you kind of dip into some of the other Macanudo offerings. So kind of,
Now, not to contradict what you said there, but I think for me the Macanudo Black also has a rather intense dark
mm,
toasted profile as well, so that might be a good option. In fact, it was shockingly full bodied for Macanudo. Really caught me off guard. So there's
yeah,
maybe another option as well.
yep. All right, so we'll get into the scores. We're going to start at the top with John at 5.40. I gave it a 5.25. So how'd that 5.4 match up for you, John?
I'm guessing that we scored it identically, with the exception of maybe burn. Yeah, I
Draw.
mean that
Draw was a little different.
was a
I had
draw.
a little looseness at the beginning, but then
Oh,
by the
interesting.
midway point, it was right on where it's supposed to be. So
Hmm. No, that matches up. I mean, we talk about an average cigar. I mean, I'm literally a half point off of being exactly average. And, honestly, what brings a cigar up is the construction. I mean, if you take the construction away, it's a 515, and that is on par. That is, there's no reason for me to choose the cigar over any other of the offerings on the shelf. And as I said in my written write up, I would much rather go for an Inspirato White or an Inspirato Black or a Palladium. Those are all, to me, enjoyable cigars, and I would happily choose those over this one. You?
yeah, my score matches up well. I mean, like I said, we scored it identical except for the draw. So yeah, it's slightly below average flavor profile. Really good construction, but as you said, there's nothing that differentiates this cigar from anything else that's out there. So you'd have to really be like in the mood for exactly what this cigar delivers for you to decide to choose this one. I think, unless you like green.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame because if you look at this on paper, and I try to smoke as blind as possible, so I had no idea. But afterwards, I was looking at the tobacco notes, and I was making quite a lot of faces. I'm like, Brazilian Arapiraca, really? Indonesian binder. Okay. Like, I wasn't really getting, for me, Brazilian Arapiraca is a fairly bold and intense tobacco. I mean, it's got a lot of, chewy molasses type sweetness to it. And I really didn't get that at all. So maybe they can hammer it out in a follow-up run. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. And for me, in my pre-light notes, I put that I thought the cigar felt a little bit light for its size, and it
Mm.
smoked pretty quick. And I think you had similar experience as well. So
Yeah, so for those who aren't aware, and we should probably do a show on this sometime, or at least I should do an article on smoking times. Typically for me, my floor for a Robusto is usually about an hour and 45 minutes, and the ceiling's usually around 2 hour and 15. And that's about right to me. If you're like, to me, that's a good pace. That's where you're gonna get the maximum amount of flavor. And I think my smoking time on this was like, what, an hour and 25 minutes, which, so you could say like 20 minutes faster. That's really fast. And, maybe it was underfilled, or maybe it was just the type of tobaccos and it burned faster, but you really don't want a cigar to burn fast. You want it to burn as slow as possible.
yeah,
So it's, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it didn't seem to show up in the construction of the cigar, but
No burnishes at all
yeah,
for me.
yeah. So it
Yes,
was good.
razor straight.
All right, if you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us, but also check out the full written review on the website, developmentpalace.com. Follow us on the social media channels. You can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one.